Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
Now, the intersection of hip-hop and basketball, a pivotal part of the sport's past 40 years. You fast forward to the present, and a growing number of NBA players are adding wine to the mix. Romaine and I sat down with NBA All-Star Donovan Mitchell and Bukola Ekundayo, the vice president and general manager of the Prisoner Wine Company, and we discussed how the industry is branching out to include more diverse voices.
We've always been known to have really disruptive, design-forward labels and to be, frankly, just a very provocative brand. In recent years, we've made a transition to just being provocative, but with a purpose. And one of the core ways in which we live out that value is through our commitment to social justice and specifically prison reform, in which our main focus is around changing the narrative around mass incarceration and shedding a more humane light to those that have been impacted by the justice system.
So how much of the money, Bucky, that you make goes to that initiative? Like what percentage of the sales goes towards that?
Yeah, we make donations, about 5% of revenue from sales that are made online directly off our website goes to a variety of different organizations that are committed to the cause of social justice as it relates to prison reform. We also make a number of donations to a variety of organizations throughout the year.
For me, seeing Bucky, really getting to meet Bucky and seeing how she's in the position of power and leadership. And I think that's really been, my main focus, whether it's in the wine industry, in the NBA, in my life, just finding ways to have people of color, Black people, in positions of power in that room. You know what I mean? I think that's something that's always been important to me. I've always wanted to introduce myself to the wine space, kind of. I feel like my teammates have, kind of told me about wine for years. And now that I'm kind of in that space, I was like, man, if I really partner with a wine company, I want to be able to go somewhere where I see people who, look like me.
The NBA Star Wine Apprenticeship that you participated in, it's a one-day crash course in branding, blending, and pairing wine with food. Clearly, NBA stars like yourself know a thing or two about branding and can bring your expertise to that experience. How did the apprenticeship widen your understanding, your appreciation of branding?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, I didn't understand how much work really went into, branding the wine, making the wine. I'm thinking, man, this is a 6-month thing. You're 2 years out, and I made my own little blend, that won't be for sale, unfortunately, but I'll make sure I get you guys a bottle. And it was really good. I think there were certain things I learned about, whether it's red, it's white, the grapes, different things, the process, being able to, take your time with what you're making and really put the time into it. So it really taught me a lot about it. And then also, like you said, bringing, the branding myself, using my own brand to kind of bring light to the wine industry, bringing my, fellow coworkers in the NBA, bringing them along, using our platforms to kind of really, expand viewership and people who really get to know more about the wine industry.
And Bucky, I'll put the same question to you. How do these NBA stars' experience with branding inform how Prisoner positions its products?
Yeah, the NBA as an organization led by, frankly, just the thought leadership of many stars in the organization like Don have really pushed forward the need for representation, the need for equity, and just being a values-based organization. And I think they're a really great, frankly, aspirational organization of what it means to be both corporate-minded but also social-minded.
We talk about the NBA. I mean, how cool is this stuff in the locker room? We had an interview sometime in 2024 with Carmelo Anthony, who kind of talked about when he first came into the league, and he was a big wine drinker, and he said he was kind of looked down upon by a lot of his teammates, and then eventually they all kind of found religion and realized that there was more to life than hard alcohol or whatever they were drinking at the time. Is it popular in the? Can you walk into the locker room with a bottle and people are actually going to be like, hey, what's that? Where's that? Where'd you get that? Where the grapes come from? How was this made? Are they that interested in it?
1,000%. I think for myself, we had a team dinner with Prisoner, I want to say around September, and it was just Prisoner wine, red, whites, And guys are interested. Guys are really, especially in the NBA, my teammates especially, guys are really interested, intrigued on, the wine space. I don't think we have a team dinner without, bottles of wine, and that's coaches, that's players, that's staff, that's whoever. I think it's really had, has a hold on, the NBA. And I think that's something that, when I first got into the league, it wasn't necessarily always the case. And I think now you're starting to see that really, really grow and develop. The NBA players develop a relationship with wine, wine companies.
All right, Donovan Mitchell from the Cleveland Cavaliers and Bukola Ekundayo over at the Prisoner Wine Company. A great interview.